So talking politics, spokesperson of the All Progressives Congress's Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, has said funds linked to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the United States were tax deductions and not drug proceeds. Mr. Keyamo spoke recently during an interview with Channeled Television where he made those clarifications. Meanwhile, the Atiku PDP presidential campaign says the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu may not be eligible to contest the 2023 presidential election based on the allegation. To walk us through this development, let's bring in a legal practitioner, Bankole Adoloju, who joins us live from the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. Well, on this matter, beyond the politicking, all right, beyond the politicking, what exactly is the position of the law on this matter?
So let me start by saying that I think it is time for our learned colleagues who are deeply into politics, to try now to start to be very extremely cautious, not to confuse, political talk with pure legal analysis. The reason is that members of the public out there, they are hot-washing. Those ones that have none or little knowledge of law are listening, and they would innocently think they are listening to what is making legal sense, in an argument that is simply laced with political talk. So for me, I've studied all the documents flying around in the media, and I've listened to Mr. Keyamo and Mr. Boala, and I can tell you that Mr. Keyamo's position represents the current position of the law. You see, the law is the law, regardless of who is involved. Okay, Mr. Boala's position was completely off point, and I was completely, bewildered at the way he could even boldly canvass the wrong position of the law. There's a difference between criminal forfeiture proceedings and civil forfeiture proceedings. You see, a lawyer with a serious practice background, and I say this most respectfully, especially with a criminal litigation background, would not waste much time to realize that Mr. Boala's argument is just a political talk. Criminal forfeiture proceeding is quite different from civil forfeiture proceedings. In a civil forfeiture proceedings, an investigator or a prosecutor goes straight against the property. While in the criminal forfeiture proceeding, you go against the criminal or the suspect first. Once you get conviction, then you go against the proceed of crime. And it's very simple. And in this case, the document that is flying around that I've studied, and I realized that those documents just shows there was actually a civil forfeiture proceedings, okay, against a defendant, defendants which are companies and properties and monies in accounts. These are simple criminal law that shows that it's just a civil forfeiture proceedings.
All right.
And I don't see how that could lead to a criminal indictment if there is no charge preferred.
All right, Mr. Adoloju. One of the things Mr. Boala said actually that this is a matter of character and maybe not necessarily all of the other issues. But then for those people who are at the moment feasting on this particular allegation, do they stand any risk of being sued, like we saw in 2015, where there was no substance to the allegation?
Yes, but I don't think there's even any reason to go that route. The reason is that there are many reasons why one could even try to settle civil forfeiture proceedings. And you could be innocent of civil forfeiture proceeding, and yet you still have your property forfeited to government. I'll give you some instance. I have a friend in the United Kingdom who purchased some dollars from the secondary market. And the Bureau de Change man transferred the money to his account. And then he never knew that the money transferred to his account, he's been trailing, and is probably a proceed of crime. And his account was frozen immediately. And he was asked to come and prove, every penny in that account. In such a case, if you reach a settlement and say, okay, this particular part belongs to me, but this particular part, I cannot really prove it because I bought it legitimately. But the man transferred it to me, I can't prove the source of his fund. So these are different reasons why civil forfeiture proceeding can actually be filed against a property. So as it stands, I don't see any indictment in all the documents that have been flying around, and I don't see any charge filed. And on that basis, it's just a simple civil forfeiture proceeding that has ended in favor of Mr. Bola Tinubu.
All right, the legal practitioner. Okay, Bankole Adeloju, thank you for shedding light on this issue for us. You joined us from the UK. Thanks again, Mr. Adeloju.
Thank you for having me.